Welcome to your June State of the Industry with the Experience Brokerage Network. I am Katie Hardman, Chief Opportunity Officer for the Experience Brokerage Network, and I'm joined by my two amazing co-hosts and partners in the Experience Brokerage Network, Leslie and Chris. Leslie, why do we announce ourselves every time we do this?
Well, thank you, Katie. So yeah, I'm Leslie, General Manager of our amazing Keller Williams Market Centers. And the reason that we do it is because we are growing constantly and we have so many new faces every time we get together every single month. So since the last time we had one of these meetings, Katie, we have welcomed 20 new Keller Williams and Experience Brokerage Network family members. So there's the list of the 20 new incredible family members. So please say hello to them, welcome them, send them messages, and let's show them our KW culture. So that's what we do at Katie.
Welcome, everybody. We're glad you're here, and we are honored to be in business with you. So thank you for joining the Experience Brokerage Network and Keller Williams. So we have actually 3 announcements today, and the first one is very timely, and we actually are bringing on a guest to talk about it. Happy Pride, everyone. It's Pride Month, and we actually have a guest speaker, Jameson, who is our leader out of Capital City, the team leader of that market center. I know you're here because you said good morning to me. Jameson, do you want to tell us a little bit about Pride and what we're doing in the Experience Brokerage Network?
Absolutely. Thank you, Katie. As Katie said, my name's Jameson, and I'm the team leader for our Capital City Market Center in Salem. I want to thank you, Katie, and Leslie and Chris for giving me an opportunity to promote this upcoming class. Proud to be KW. I'm presenting this class in our Sunset Corridor Market Center tomorrow at noon, the Eugene Springfield Market Center on June 27th at 11, and Capital City Market Center on June 29th at noon. This is a 2-hour class, and it offers 2 CE credits for Oregon brokers. We call it a class, but it's really intended to be an open forum and a courageous space that all are invited to attend. We're going to talk about Pride, the LGBTQ community, and the history that led to us becoming a protected class under both the Oregon Equality Act and federally under fair housing. We're going to talk about ways to improve our talk tracks and our written communication to meet those requirements and stay compliant. So for example, the listing description that used to say master bedroom has his and her walk-in closets now says the primary bedroom offers dual walk-in closets. These are minor changes, but they make a big difference. Now you might be wondering if the class is for you or why it's important to your business. If you're asking that question, I'll answer it with a question, which FYI, I hate it when people answer a question with a question, but I'm going to do it anyway. Do you or anyone on your team work with millennials? Right now, they make up most of our first-time home buyers, correct? I mean, that's been my experience. According to NAR, right now, 1 in 10 buyers by being a member of the LGBTQ community. And for those of us who intend to stay in this business for another 10 to 12 years when Gen Z starts buying homes, that same study finds that 1 in 5 of Gen Z identifies as being LGBTQ. So this is a huge part of your business, I'm sure. So come to the class with questions related to the LGBT community. Again, it's an open forum, right? Like this is a perfect class if you've ever felt uncomfortable around a member of the LGBT community. Maybe you didn't know what to say, or maybe you unintentionally offended somebody once and you're just not sure why or how you could have said it differently. I've done that as well. And this is our opportunity to talk about it without fear. There's a lot of different pronouns being used today, and there's a lot of different people that identify as being members in the, groups and subgroups that exist within the rainbow. It gets confusing, and this is our opportunity to talk about that. Because when we talk about it with the spirit of seeking first to understand, we start to understand why, and that's where growth starts. So everyone, please come grow your business with me. Again, I'm going to be in Hillsborough tomorrow at noon, Eugene on June 27th at 11, and Salem on June 29th at noon. All realtors and affiliate partners are invited.
Thank you for doing that, Jameson. I appreciate you.
Yeah, Jameson, thank you so much for bringing this opportunity to our XBN family and being a model of our Y4C2TEs and equity and opportunity for all. So Katie, we have two more opportunities that we want to make sure our agents have on their radar as they're planning the second half of the year and what opportunities are going to go to enhance their business. And the first is Mega Camp. So every February we have KW Family Reunion, and every August to September we have Mega Camp. So Mega Camp this year is scheduled from August 14th to 16th. They're going to kick it off with Gary Keller CEO Summit on the 14th. And of course, every single year that is in Austin, Texas. If you're interested in Mega Camp this year, you want to learn more about it, I have dropped a link into the chat. And of course, if you're not sure if it's right for you right now in your business, please reach out to your local leadership team and they can get you all of the details and tell you more about this awesome opportunity. But that's not all. We also have the next Built How Live coming up in Phoenix. We had a huge group show up in the spring in Palm Springs. So we're excited to bring this back with, of course, our amazing Chris Suarez and Ben Kenny leading the way. That is September 12th through the 14th. Now, if you are interested in this event and the incredible speakers and content that they bring, please make sure you use our link that is provided and use the discount code BUILT25 to get your special Experience Brokerage Network discount code. So we look forward to seeing you guys all at Mega Camp as well as Built How here in August and September. So I think that's it, Katie.
Awesome. Okay. We made it through announcements, which means the fun part, the part that you guys have all been waiting for. Chris and I were talking and there's a topic that keeps coming up that he's passionate about and has been speaking about. So Chris, do you want to tell us a little bit about what's been running through your head and what you've been speaking about lately, and then intro our guest?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Katie. And thank you, Leslie. Good to see so many people here, whether live on the Zoom or live on our streaming channel. Some of you will watch this on replay as well. But one of the things that's been coming up probably for the last month and been talking to the team about, talking to a lot of agents, many of you have called me and expressed sort of your sentiment or feeling or maybe anxiousness around this word stuck. Anyone feel maybe stuck somewhere in their world or their life in the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, 100 and whatever, another 30 is added onto that? Yeah, it's an emotion that many people are feeling. And I started thinking about this some time ago and started asking myself the question, like, why? Why do we feel that way? And why do I believe the industry feels that way right now? Let's take just a minute and think about what we do on a daily basis, right? Working with buyers, working with sellers, and how oftentimes their emotions transfer over to our emotions because we care about them, because we work with them, because we want to help them. At the end of the day, homeowners are feeling a little bit stuck right now, right? Think about sellers. Homeowners that wish they could be in a different home right now. Maybe they imagined that they were going to be in a bigger home, like they were planning on moving up in the last 12 to 18 months, and they haven't. They feel stuck. Why? Well, because they have a 2.8% mortgage, because the house that they were going to move up to is now equal payments or more monthly than the house that they're living in today. So that desire, that dream, that preferred future of being in another home, they're stuck in their mind in theirs. Maybe they're planning on downsizing, and now they look at their current mortgage and they look at half the house that they were planning on moving into, and even though they want to downsize, they logically just can't wrap their head around paying the same amount of money for a home half the size, so they feel stuck. And we need not even go to buyers. Like, buyers just feel stuck right now, right? They feel like, hey, well, I want to buy, I want to own, and they're waiting for inventory to show up. Maybe they wrote 3 or 4, 7 or 16 offers with you in the last 3 years or 2 years, and then all of a sudden, right, you know, they're ready, but now they can't afford it. Or now they just don't want to buy the house that they could afford. Interestingly enough, homeowners are ready and they are able, but they are unwilling. There, think about a motivated seller. They're ready, like they're ready to go. They're able, right? It's not so much that they can't afford the next house. They're able, but they're just unwilling, equals stuck. Think about a buyer. They're ready to buy, like they want to own. They're willing to go out and make some sacrifices, but now they're being told, no, you're unable. No, you don't qualify anymore for the payment on the house that you need. So we have lost a massive section of our ready, willing plus able, or our ready, able plus willing buyers and sellers. And so because they feel stuck, it sort of puts this quasi stuck into our world as professionals, as real estate agents, as business owners and entrepreneurs. And so I've just been doing a lot of conversations and thought and reading around this word stuck. But here's what we need to remember. Anything important, anything meaningful, any goal that we set that matters to us, it's going to take a while to reach it. It just is. Like sometimes we feel stuck in this moment because we're not moving forward in this moment. We don't like to feel like we're running in place in this moment. We don't like to feel like, gosh, we're not growing. We're not bigger. We're not better than we were. We're not selling more houses than we were a year ago or 6 months ago or 2 years ago. And at the end of the day, that energy we put towards that feeling stuck is going to discourage us. Remember, anything meaningful, any meaningful goal will take a long time to reach it. And here's our challenge right now, because we have incredible energy in the beginning when we launched our career, when we jumped into this business, when we were ready to go. And there's incredible energy when we're reaching goals, when we're just minutes away, when we're just a month away, when we're a few units away, there's energy in the beginning and there's energy at the end, but it's all that lull in the middle that gets to us where we begin to feel stuck. I heard it recently, a story, and I like it. It says it's like setting sail from North America to Europe, right? When plane travel wasn't the easy thing to do, like we used to travel back and forth from North America to Europe by what? By boat, right? It would take a long time, but we did. And at the beginning of the journey, imagine if you were doing this today, at the beginning of the journey, it's exciting. Why? Because as you set sail and you push off from New York or whatever Eastern seaboard city you're leaving from, you feel good energy. Like the journey is just starting. You look back and you see you're making progress, right? You see the shore, like, oh, look, we're getting farther, we're getting farther, we're getting farther, we're getting farther. And then all of a sudden you're so far that you can't even see land anymore. And then you get into the middle of the ocean and we don't really see the progress we're making at all. We just see water and more water and more water. It's this lull or plateau in the journey, and it gets long. But then what happens when you see land on the other side? We're getting closer, we're getting closer, we're getting closer, we're getting closer. Like that land starts to creep up, or it feels like it's creeping up, and we're getting closer and closer. And then there's energy, there's renewed emphasis on what our goal was. And so as I think about that, many years we launch and we see where we're leaving, and we see the land in front of us constantly throughout the whole year. And this year may not be like that. Next year may not be like that. This phase in our career where we might not feel like we're growing like we have every single year can make us feel stuck. So what do we do about that? Well, there's some things we can do. And I have asked a favor of a good friend and coach of mine and mentor of mine to come today to talk about this very thing. I'm going to introduce you to a gentleman named Jordan Orth. Now, Jordan is a certified high performance coach, right? I met him some years back. He's a certified high performance coach through Brendan Burchard's organization. All of us, many of us have either met Brendan if you've come to Build How, or we've talked about him a lot. He's probably one of the greatest high performance coaches in the country. Why? Because he studies high performance, not because he's a brilliant speaker or a brilliant writer, which he is, but it's because he studies high performance. So he hand selects a certain number of people across the country to certify as high performance coaches for him. Jordan is one of those. And Jordan has helped me with this specific topic of, gosh, Jordan, like, I kind of feel stuck right now. Like I thought things were going to happen a little bit differently. I thought things were going to play out a little bit differently. And so I asked Jordan, hey, you've helped me personally. You've coached me through feeling stuck. Would you coach a group through feeling stuck or getting unstuck? Like, how would you have that conversation? These high performance coaches, by the way, have frameworks. And for those of you who are, and I'll actually put maybe a link in the chat, but for those of you who say, hey, like, yes, I may not need a real estate coach. I might not need an accountability coach, but I need a coach to help me break some bad habits, to help me form some good habits, to create habits that are going to move my business and my life and my being forward. A high performance coach may be exactly what you need. And today might be a good demonstration of what a performance coach does. But Jordan, first of all, welcome to the Experience Brokerage Network and Keller Williams. I'm grateful that you've agreed to spend some time with us. I'm grateful for all the help that you've given me personally. My business would not be what it is if it wasn't for some of the frameworks that you've helped me through when no one knew that you were helping me through them. So awesome to introduce you to the group. And I'm just going to turn it over. I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you go and take us through some frameworks of getting us unstuck. Cool?
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Wow. Amazing introduction. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And also thank you for everyone here that's joining us. And I'm excited. The next 30 minutes will change your life. Now that's a bold claim, isn't it? That's a bold claim. The next 30 minutes, like, I don't even know you. You don't know me. How am I going to change your life? Well, it's because I believe in what I'm talking about. And as Chris said, Brendan Burchard has proven over the last 20 years that his curriculum works, his frameworks work. They're science-based, they're research-backed, they're outcome-driven. And so I can with full confidence tell you that if you implement the high-performance habits that we talk about today in the next 30 minutes, if you start doing them daily, it will change your life. I promise you that. So I want to share my screen here. I'm gonna play my little thing. And our first thing we want to talk about is bison. And now I have just been told that you're familiar with this metaphor. So this is just a reminder. Maybe some of you have buffalo in your offices right now, some t-shirts. You know, I should have made a buffalo t-shirt. That would have been awesome. But you can see here a little picture of some buffalo emerging from a storm. And so this is super fascinating because if we go to the Colorado Rockies, storms will form around those mountains and then they'll roll down into the Kansas plains. When cows see the storm, you know what they do? They run away. They start going in the opposite direction. And so what they're actually doing is maximizing their suffering because they're freaking out. They're all just like emotionally and mentally, and they're just exhausted. They're physically exhausted from running, and they're going to have to weather the storm anyway. It finally catches up to them, and it takes twice as long to get through it. And we all do it from time to time, don't we? We all do that. All humans run away from the big problems in life. Like people that are in debt, they try to find ways not to pay their debt. People that have unhealthy relationships, they try to find ways not to have those difficult conversations. Or if health is an issue, like we so easily rationalize reasons why we can't work out or we can't eat healthy. We all do this from time to time. Buffaloes are different though. Bison, they run towards the storm. They charge it. So the storm is rolling down the hill. They run this way. They get through the storm twice as fast. They minimize the time that they spend suffering. And so the metaphor is clear. What are we going to do? What mindset are we going to face our problems with? A negative one, running away, or a positive one, running towards the storm? So that's what we're going to discuss today. That's the feeling of being stuck. When we see the problem coming, we have to make a decision how we're going to handle it. That is often where we get stuck. And here's why. And it's just like we're mammals, bison are mammals. We all have like these inner systems that are working. It's not all in our head. It's actually in our entire body, this feeling of stuck. So our sympathetic nervous system, this is a little science, hopefully this doesn't bore you, but it generates an unconscious response to problems. And you've probably seen this before, the fight, flight, or fright response. So your body starts producing chemicals. You have no control over this. It just happens. And so the chemical that's actually being produced is dopamine. And your body uses dopamine to produce other chemicals. So when we are feeling this feeling of stuck, it's because of this fight, flight, or fright response. So here's how it often manifests itself. This is when we become aware that we're experiencing this, when we feel frustrated, when we feel fatigued, and when we feel fear. So those we really recognize because these are very common to us. What your body has done is turned your dopamine into adrenaline. And so that's where we get that energy to like run and do things like, it's an emergency, so let's do something about it. The dopamine tells you, hey, I need to do something. The adrenaline helps you do it. Now, adrenaline has been widely known as the arousal of negative emotions. So we don't want to stay here. This doesn't feel good. This is why being stuck is not enjoyable. And we all want to get unstuck. So how do we do that? We do that by using our body to produce other chemicals, other reactions, positive engagements, running towards the storm. So we need to generate in our life, if we're feeling frustration, we need to generate focus. If we're feeling fatigue, we need to generate energy. And if we're feeling fear, we need to generate confidence. I think you can see right there how this will fight being stuck. It's science-based, it's research-backed, and it works every time. Here's what happens when we start generating these 3 high-performance habits in our life. The dopamine is turned into norepinephrine. Technically, both of these chemicals are produced at the same time, adrenaline and norepinephrine, but we have the choice of which one will take over. So adrenaline can move you to do things, yes, but it's always negative. Norepinephrine, this is super fascinating. This chemical is created from dopamine, but it actually reallocates your body's resources and it puts them towards systems required for movement. So if you want to have movement in your life, all you need is more norepinephrine. Like class dismissed, that's all I need to teach you right now. You just need more norepinephrine. But we need to simplify this a little bit. Albert Einstein said, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it. So we're going to simplify this. And if this is too simple for you, remember, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. So you see here something that I'm calling the car model. I was thinking about being stuck, and it reminded me of getting stuck in a car. I'm not talking about a stoplight because it's going to turn green eventually. I'm not talking about a stop sign. It's going to be your turn eventually. We're not talking about getting stuck on the beach. That's called vacation. And if you're stuck in the forest, you're probably four-wheeling. So like those are not what we're talking about here. I want you to picture yourself. You're a high performer. You're an achiever. You have accomplishments. You're in a car on the freeway and you're going 70 miles an hour, maybe a little faster. What could make you feel stuck in that moment? You're doing stuff. You're meeting with people, you're making phone calls, you're doing what you got to do to move life forward. What would make you feel stuck in a car? A couple of things came to my mind. Maybe construction. Maybe something in your life is just not ready yet. You're working on it. Or maybe you have a project that you're waiting for other people to finish their part of it. You're just kind of stuck right here in this moment, waiting for a deal to close. It could be anything. Well, that's valid. And that is a valid reason for being stuck. We're not going to really drill down into that. That's another topic for another time. Something else that could make you feel stuck on the freeway. You come to a grinding halt because of an accident, a collision. Maybe something happened in your life. I like to think of it like maybe there was trauma in your life. Maybe there's just drama in your life. Both of those things, if they're unresolved or if we don't want to deal with it yet, it could cause us to feel stuck. Again, it's valid. Another topic for another time. I want to talk about being lost. If you're driving on what you thought was the right road for you, maybe you got on I-5 because everybody else was getting on I-5, but you realize like, hey, this is not the direction I want to go. Or I have no idea where I'm going. That feeling of being lost on the wrong road, that's huge. That's real. That's like frustration, fatigue, fear. That's being stuck, even though you're moving at a super fast pace. So let's address that. This feeling of not knowing what to do, not knowing if I'm on even the right path for myself, or being on the right path, but not knowing what my next move is. Okay, so let's look at the car model here. The C stands for curate. Now for me, this has been kind of like the word of the year, curate. We don't use it a whole lot in our vocabulary. We're starting to use it a little bit more, I think. For me, you can curate anything from your food to your friends and anything in between. So like for me, curating my food, I hate calorie counting. So I started counting macros. And that works for me. Like that's how I curate my food. Instead of like having a limit, it's a goal that I'm trying to reach. So I changed that in my life. For my friends, I realized like I'm 38 now. I have a ton of friends, but I don't have a lot of relationships. So to curate for me and my friends, I picked 5 people. And I said, I'm going to build a relationship with these 5 people. So that's how I curated my friends. But there's one thing that I really want you to focus on. Here's the high performance habit. Curate your morning. And this is huge. Curate your morning routine. So High Performance Institute has researched different like lengths of time, and they found that 50 minutes is ideal. So for the human body, the human brain, 50 minutes is perfect. So when you wake up, in the first 50 minutes of your day, don't check your inbox. This is going to be hard for us. Like, it's hard for me. Don't check your inbox. Brendan Burchard says that our inbox is a convenient organizing system for other people's agenda. What's in there is not going to really move your life forward. It's not going to make you feel like you're on your path. So don't check it. 50 minutes, okay? You got to try this. During that 50 minutes, what I want you to do is, like we talked about before, get that body moving. Activate your body. Connect your body and your mind together. Do this with some type of movement. Like it could be a workout. It could be stretching. Don't underestimate the power of a walk. It's one of the only exercises that has been proven to repair brain cells. As you're walking, you're repairing your brain cells. Don't underestimate that. Go out and do some movement for 30 minutes and then spend the rest of that 50. You got 20 more minutes. Spend that doing something that you enjoy. Whether that's just sitting with your coffee or your tea, or maybe reading a book, maybe doing a little bit of mindfulness, some meditation, whatever you want to do. that first 50 minutes is all about you and letting your body wake up and your mind wake up. And you're going to start to feel, when you curate your morning like this, you're going to feel like you're on your path. And you won't feel like you're on the wrong path anymore. It takes time, but this is an excellent habit to get started with, to get unstuck, to feel movement in your life. Let's move on to the A. That stands for align. If we're keeping with the car illustration, if your car is ever unaligned or out of alignment, it starts to like sound weird and like feel weird as you're driving it, right? It could even get dangerous. You got to get that thing aligned. Same with our bodies. If we get in an accident or if we sleep wrong, our back is not aligned. So we're like, I got to go get an adjustment. We got to get into alignment, bring it into a straight line. So here's a high performance habit that you can do to align your day. And you're probably already doing something similar. But again, 50 is the magic number. 50-minute work blocks. So what I like to do is set an alarm on my phone, 50 minutes. And during that 50 minutes, I'm doing uninterrupted, focused, hard work on projects that advance my career or advance my goals. I'm doing the hard things during these 50 minutes. I'm making those phone calls. I'm doing those big asks. I'm making sure that I'm aligning my day. 50 minutes, 50 minutes, 50 minutes. And we put here resist reaction mode because there again, you go back to the inbox, you get all these messages. These are requests from other people. You don't want to be in reaction mode all day where you're just constantly just doing stuff that promotes others' agendas. You got to do it, but don't be in reaction mode all day. Try to do that at other times. Like get your work done during that 50 minutes. If you got some time left over, then do your reactions. You see how this is going to set your day up for success? You're going to be so much more productive. And alignment is huge mentally because we can get a lot of accomplishments. We can get a lot of achievements. But if we're not aligned with what we feel like is our purpose and what we feel is our mission, your brain just starts to do weird things. So for both of these, curation and alignment, you're going to notice you're going to feel on the right path, your path. And it's really going to help you get unstuck. Now, the R, this is something that we're probably really good at because it could be our natural response. And it is renew. We just want to like, I need energy. So I'm going to go on vacation. I need to get renewed. I need some recreation. But that's not really what we're talking about because that's an event, an important event, but we're going to just keep it like within your day. You can renew yourself all day throughout the entire day. And it's going to keep you going. It's going to keep you on your path. And here's the high performance habit. Try to get 50 minutes more sleep every night. And we think that this is like an easy thing. Like, oh yeah, I'll just sleep a little bit more. But it's actually really difficult because there's so many things pulling at us. So many distractions, so many things that make it hard to sleep. So this will take some time to get 50 more minutes of sleep and to actually like quantify that, because you may have to change your routine leading up to bed. You may have to change, like for me, it's I got to stop drinking coffee at a certain point. Otherwise, I'm going to stay awake and my mind's just going to race. It's so simple, but if I do that, I protect my sleep. I feel so much better the next day. And if I don't, even though it's such a simple thing, I feel terrible the next day. I feel terrible while I'm sleeping because my mind is just racing. So simple little tweaks like that, high performance habits are really going to drive you forward. Now, here's a little bit extra. We'll add this on. You have your 50-minute work blocks. Well, the last 10 minutes of the hour, stand up. Don't just sit there at your desk all day. Don't just sit in your car driving around all day. Get up, stand up, walk around. You can do some more stretching. Drink some water. If you renew every 50 minutes with a 10-minute standing break, it's going to be huge. And then at the end of your day, or I actually combine this into my morning routine, spend 20 minutes journaling, meditating, some mindfulness practice, reading a book. Journaling is huge because you're going to capture your thoughts, and you're going to capture your desires, and you're going to capture what will actually move you forward. And if you write that down, it's almost like 50-50. I think it's like the statistic is 42% more likely to do it if you write it down. So that's huge. These are all high performance habits that produce in your body real reactions that combat that frustration, fatigue, and fear that we talked about earlier. If you curate, it will produce confidence in your life. You're going to know, yeah, I'm doing what I need to do for myself. And now I can help other people. I want to serve, I want to help, but I have to take care of myself first. I want to teach other people, but I have to teach myself first. This is going to give you the confidence to do that. If you align your day, you're going to notice your focus will improve. It will be tangible. You're going to be so productive. There's no other way to explain it, but you will feel aligned, and you will be achieving things, and you'll be accomplishing things. And then finally, if you renew every hour, like we said, and then get 50 minutes more sleep every night, your energy is going to improve. It's going to be wild. And all of this unlocks the blind spot in our car. This is what we need. This is what is going to get us unstuck. Our next right action. The next right action for you is going to be different for everyone. But if we generate these 3 things in our life with the high performance habits that we just discussed, it will unlock this blind spot. We'll know what we need to do next, and we'll be able to do it. We'll have the momentum to do it. So you can screenshot this. I'm also going to give everybody these last 3 slides as just a gift for being here. And I'll tell you how to do that real quick here. But basically, I think you can see that you're already on the road to high performance because you're already a high performer. But if you're feeling stuck, it's not just in your head, it's in your entire body. And whether you like the science about it or not, what you need is more norepinephrine. And remember, that reallocates your body's resources towards the systems required for movement. And implementing these high performance habits is what will generate more norepinephrine in your life. And so I'm confident that if this 30 minutes didn't change your life right now, if you apply all of these things, you will notice a huge change going forward. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk to you this morning. And here's how you can get that free gift. Down at the corner there is my website, jordanorth.com. Pretty simple. You just go there. You can click on the little box that has no registration, just get the gift. Also, you can apply for a free strategy session. I'd love to spend 60 minutes with you just talking about, what you want out of life. And it's more than just accountability. It's here's some high performance habits that can help you get that. And I hope that this 30 minutes, more than anything else, has just encouraged you to be like the bison and just keep running towards those storms. So thank you. And I'll turn it back over to Leslie and Katie.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jordan. I hope that everybody took notes. What was it? If you're frustrated, focus. if you're, Jordan, help me.
Fatigued.
Yes.
Fatigued.
If you're fatigued, your energy, and if you're fearful, it's going to be your confidence that helps to conquer that 100%.
I love it. Well, Katie, we covered some incredible opportunities today. We covered some high performance habits. And I feel like in the theme of what Jordan just shared with us, gosh, you have 18 minutes that you can use for mindfulness or journaling, or you can take a 10-minute renewal break because guys, we're going to wrap up early and we're going to give you back 18 minutes to implement some of the techniques that Jordan shared with us today. Does that sound good, Katie?
That sounds good. Everybody stand up, take your 10 minutes. Don't spend the whole hour sitting. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and we will see you again next month. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Al.